think we've all experienced that moment that when you're playing a piece for a while and you know that it's not great yet, but you don't actually know what to do with it, you don't know how to practice in order to make it better, it kind of seems to have hit a plateau. Today I have a few tips for you to break that plateau, get the creative juices flowing, and get your piece up to the level that you want it. These tips are all about creativity. When you hit a plateau, it means that you've been practicing in the same way for a while. And doing the same thing all over again in the same way is not going to get you the results that you want. So the exercises of today are all about trying to look at a piece creatively and differently. First exercise is a different tempo. Now I know what you're thinking. You're like, oh my god, you guys say this all the time. I've been practicing different tempo. I know slow practice is important. But actually with this exercise, I mean something different. I mean, imagine your piece is really fast. For example, you're playing a Chopin etude. Then I want you to try and take it into a slow tempo and pretend that that's the actual tempo that you have to play it in. So just forget about that the piece is supposed to be fast. Try to pretend that it's supposed to be slow and try to, if somebody would be listening, right, who doesn't know the piece, try to convince them that that's the actual tempo. So look at this as an exercise like, I don't know if you used to be in debate class, if you used to debate in school, but you know that when you're debating you have to actually practice taking different standpoints, and it might be a totally different standpoint to what you're actually thinking, but you still have to do it. Think of it like that. Try to exercise playing this piece from a different standpoint, from a different point of view. So try to practice convincing somebody or convincing yourself that it actually sounds better in a slow tempo. But it's the other way around, of course, if you're practicing a slow piece. Try to actually play it once in a much faster tempo. Get it nice and flowing. See if you can perform it in a fast tempo. Right now I'm practicing something in the middle, and then you can go either way. I'm practicing this Romanian folk dance by Bartok for a Spotify recording. It's kind of in the middle of the tempo. I can do the exercise either way. I can either try to perform it convincingly in a faster tempo, even though I'm never going to do that, obviously, it's just an exercise. Or I can actually go in a much slower tempo. And this not only gets the creative juices flowing, actually if you play a slow piece, if you actually perform it in faster, it really helps you with that forward drive that you can sometimes lose when you're playing a slow piece. And the other way around, if you're playing a really fast piece, you might actually make the mistake of focusing a little bit too much on the technical things, and performing it musically will actually point out all those beautiful musical details to you that you might be missing. So not only is it a really good exercise to look at your piece in a different way, it also actually helps you with practical things as well. So that's the first. Perform it. Don't practice it, but really try to perform it in a different tempo than the piece actually is meant to be. My second exercise is like something in the same style, right? It's all about reconnecting with your piece, and it's all about thinking creatively. I want you to do the opposite of things in your score. So for example, let's take a nice example. This is Czerny etudes. I don't feel like playing Czerny etudes now. Let's find something different. So here's a Chopin Waltz book, and there's a lot of writings in the score, right? And you can take this as far as you want to take it. So I would suggest in starting first with the dynamics. So the exercise would be that you would take the dynamic that you see and you would do the opposite. So we're seeing here in the beginning piano, and it's supposed to be piano, right? But I'd like you to take that dynamic and actually do the opposite. So you see piano and you're going to play forte. So it becomes really a different piece. But you can take this exercise as far as you want it. For example, there can be written a crescendo. You would do a decrescendo, right? So it's written here, for example, in this valse in C sharp minor, it's written a decrescendo. Do the opposite. that really gets you thinking. And if you see a ritornito, do an accelerando. If you see an accelerando, do a ritornito. It's just a little fun game, and it's actually more difficult than you think, especially if you're really used to these things. And I think that that's why we get stuck in the first place. We kind of get used to a certain way of playing. We kind of get stuck in a certain way of phrasing, a certain way of timing, certain dynamics. And this exercises will get you unstuck and just will get you kind of in love with the piece again, and will get you thinking about the decisions you've made, whether they are conscious decisions or subconscious decisions. Okay, so the last exercise I have is actually kind of specific. Like I was saying, I'm practicing this Romanian folk dance by Bartok for a Spotify recording, and it has a lot of ornaments. So this... So that's a lot of ornaments in a very short time. And my third exercise would be, whenever you see ornaments, leave them out. Because this really helps remind you what the main notes are. So if you listen, if I play it without ornaments... And that really helps you, especially with phrasing. It helps you understand the flow of the music better, and helps you understand better which notes are important. So if your piece doesn't have ornaments, obviously this exercise is not for you, so I'll give you a bonus one, okay? My last bonus tip for you would be, think about how long you're playing your piece. If you've been playing your piece already more than a couple of months, I would consider, you can do two things. I would consider taking a break from it and playing another piece. I would consider doing these two things. Either you take a complete break from the piece and you play a short, easy piece in between. For example, Romanian folk dance by Bartok can be one of the Gnosiens by Satie, or one of the Gymnopédies by Satie. Something short and simple. Oh, can be one of Dimitar's easier pieces. Can be, for example, Einaudi. Could be a little bit more lighter classical music. Something that you know that you will be able to study in, like, let's say, maximum 2-3 weeks. So either do that and you will come back to your other piece refreshed. Or if you don't want to stop practicing the piece that you're practicing right now, I suggest that you sight read for a few days every day before you start practicing your piece. That will also have the same effect. You'll feel fresh because you'll have seen new music. You'll have seen new style, new dynamics, new key signature, new rhythms. And with that fresh mindset, you'll be practicing your piece. This is something that I do very often because I'm a concert pianist. I have to practice my pieces until the tiniest details, and I sometimes get really bored. Obviously, you know, if you want to make something really perfect, you have to repeat it 20,000 times, and it can be boring. So I really like to start, and I cannot stop practicing them because I have to play them on stage. So I really like to start my practice with sight reading, because with that fresh, enthusiastic mindset, I go into my practice of my concert pieces. And because you're with that creative mindset, you think of more things to do and you have more fun with your practice. Okay, I hope these tips were useful to you. I hope that you get unstuck if you're feeling stuck on whatever piece you are. Even if you're not feeling stuck, these are really fun exercises that you can do anytime. And my suggestion would be that you also think of your own. So you get the idea behind it, think of your own little exercises to shake it up. Thanks so much for watching. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. We're always happy to make something for you guys. Don't forget to check out Dimitar's Spotify. We have a nice playlist for you if you want to, do your work or studying with some beautiful piano music in the background. Sheet music is available. It is for intermediate pianists though. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe if you want to join the community, and see you next week.